Hello everyone, my name is Mirna, and on behalf of the Mindalia TV team, welcome to Mindalia live streaming, where thousands of people around the world gather daily to see the lectures and interviews organized by Mindalia TV. Today we have the pleasure of being joined by two guests. Phillip Ottone and Enrique Monis are the co-founders of the Takyonspirit, a project dedicated to sharing with the world the amazing properties of the tachyon, bringing it through experience of connection to the people. They are both therapists and totally committed to expanding love to the planet. But before starting with them, we want to remind you that Mindalia's mission is to share information that can help raise the level of consciousness in the planet, and you can help us by subscribing to our channel, leaving us a positive comment down this video, or sharing with someone that you know that can benefit of the content that we're going to be talking here today. Also, when we are live streaming, we have an active chat screen you're going to be seeing on my side, and we invite you to participate, to interact with us through there. We are not going to delay this any further, and I have the pleasure of introducing Enrique and Phillip. Guys, welcome to Mindalia. How are you?
Hello, very well. Thank you very much for having us.
It is. Hello, Enrique. So, we're going to be having a very interesting experience today because we are going to be migrating from Spanish to English, but we're going to make sure that our English audience is aware of everything that we're talking. It's kind of a Spanglish conversation, but we couldn't avoid sharing this information with you guys. So I'm going to start with the first question. You guys decide who wants to answer. What is a tachyon? What is it? When someone asks, like, what is a tachyon? Is it chemistry? Is it biology? Is it physics? What is it?
Tachyon, as we know it, it comes from physics, and it's a particle. It's a particle that is faster than light, and it has no frequency, no vibration, and is the origin of the existence. So here in Spain we say es la nada de la nada. It's nothing of nothing, but at the same time it's the creation of everything. So that is what really tachyon is. But I don't like to get too much into all the physics and understanding of this particle and does it exist, it doesn't exist. What we're here to bring is the possibilities that this experience brings to the people and the planet in this moment. That's what we're here for, really.
Is it too crazy to think that basically you use the notion, the knowledge of the tachyon existing once you integrated that into your mind? So you make it a life experience. You make it philosophy, if I may say.
I mean, what it is, tachyon is once you bring the concept into yourself, it opens a wide range of possibilities that before probably you were not in touch with. When you open to the possibility that the world that we sort of experience in our basic level is only a limited version of what it is, and that behind that is something very, very powerful and very rich in possibilities, it opens a insight experience that can change your perception of yourself and the perception we have of the world. And tachyon is a perfect bridge for this to happen.
I kind of feel it when you talk about it. I kind of feel it as a knowledge that is like groundbreaking. You have your set of like a mindset, and once you understand that there is this particle that is the beginning and the end, the alpha, the omega, it has always been there and it's gonna be eternal. So you kind of give yourself a new value in a way, like it makes you feel different about your own existence.
I mean, what we have to think about is that if we go back to what really tachyon is, and we call it tachyon, we can call it whatever a name we want to put in. Is the spark, is the spark that made the existence we live in possible. So we can call it the particle of consciousness, the particle of true love, the particle of God, whatever way we want to name it, just connecting with that possibility and thinking that, of course, that particle is a part of us. And when we think of the limitless possibilities that consciousness has, that love in its true existence has, that God has, it opens a new frame of possibilities within us. That we are, as we function in our normal day, we are only experiencing a very limited possibility of what our true self really is. And this is the great gift that now is opening. It's nothing new, it's the beginning, and as you say, it's the end, and it's not new. What is happening now is that we are now opening really with the true reality to this possibility, and therefore receiving the great value that this has for us as humanity and for the planet in a moment of great need.
Do you think that maybe, of course, we've been saying more than a couple times that this is something that has always been there, unnoticed, latent in our existence? We integrated. What makes us realize now the existence of the tachyon? What happens with our, is it a level of consciousness maybe? What makes us aware of the fact that we are made of tachyons, that the planet we live in is made of tachyons, and the infinite possibilities that can happen within the all the things that the tachyon can be or do?
I mean, I think it definitely has to. It comes from evolution. It definitely is an evolution of consciousness and awareness happening in the planet. Tachyon is as a particle is the origin of creation. Therefore, it's not from the beginning, because no beginning is no end. It's always been and it always will be. So what is happening now? Obviously, in the 90s, is when a person called David Wagner, is an American person, he's in Santa Rosa, started to make possible through the quartz, through the silice, how to tachyonize, how to make a quartz, a tachyon aerial, like only to bring tachyon. So from the early 90s, this is happening. I came in contact with Tachyon in 2005. We started our project, Enrique and me, in 2016, and we have seen that in the last year and a half, it's been a huge explosion of awareness. And Tachyon is sort of opening the mind of many people. And even though it's been always with us, and since 1991 started to be used as a tool to help awareness, it's been in the last 2-3 years at least. That's how we feel, Enrique and me, in Spain, where we are now. But as well now we're going to Argentina. It's happening in South America as well. Now we're talking to America. It's happening now because I think it's a true awareness that is happening at this moment. Our level of consciousness is raising, and Tachyon is a beautiful tool to make this bridge between the possible and the impossible to happen. And the possible is what we know, and the impossible is that we can create a wall, absolute, that we have a wall amazing, and we are amazing beings ready to start fulfilling our true potential.
That is very interesting. So basically the difference between then and now is the fact that we know that there is something else, that we know that we're made of that. And we were talking earlier about how you dedicate your life to spreading love and to the application of the knowledge of the existence of the tachyon. So how do you integrate that in your life? How do you relate the tachyon with love, the tachyon with consciousness, the tachyon with a better lifestyle, emotionally and mentally speaking?
Okay, there's a lot of, we're going to sort of,
It's a long question with many
it's a long
parts.
question with many, many possibilities. So what we have to think of is that what Tachyon is brought to Enrique and me is the true understanding that what we are looking for, what we've been looking for all our lives, we already are. So what we're looking for, we already have it. So we say that one of our messages is stop searching and start finding. And because we seem to be in a search for something, constant search as humanity, that is always asking for more. We need more and more and more. We get somewhere, and once we have experienced that, we want something else. And what we have realized, Kiki and me, is we said it. We don't find it because we passed it long time ago. We already were there, and it wasn't enough. And what we are doing now, and what Tachyon is brought to Kiki and me as a realization, is that what we're always were looking for, we already have it. And what Tachyon does is making this experience a true realization. So here we're not talking Tachyon is love, Tachyon is consciousness, Tachyon is totality. We are that. And what Tachyon does is connect us to that true realization. So this is the beautiful tool. So what we say, Tachyon is behind. Tachyon is not in front. We don't need Tachyon to realize that. What Tachyon is doing is making a much wider, a much faster road to realize this.
You are connecting through tachyon.
We are connected through Tachyon, but we are connecting not to what Tachyon gives us. Tachyon doesn't give us anything we don't have. Tachyon shows us our true potential. This is the beautiful part of it. That Tachyon is that's why at this moment it's happening, because it's a great need. We are all a bit fed up with this continuous search, with this continuous journey to nowhere. And now we know the planet is how it is. Time is ticking. The clock is ticking. We don't have much time. And Tachyon is a beautiful tool. It's not consciousness. It's not love. It's not time. It's everything. But what that shows us is we are everything as well. And this is the beautiful part of this. When Kiki and me, we work, we use Tachyon tools. There is a necklace, there is some discs, there's a pyramid made of quartz that is tachyonized, and it's amazing tools to raise the vibration. But they are there only to help us to realize our full potential. The Tachyon doesn't give us anything. The Tachyon shows us, opens the gate for us to go in, and if you are willing, to experience your true self. As basic as that and as simple as that. And when you are open to that possibility, the experience is absolutely amazing. The only thing you can connect with is love, because love is everything there is. We are love. The thing is, the love we are is covered with many layers of beliefs, of emotions, of fears, of mental restraints put by society, by the system, by the whole process of living. So it's difficult to access to that, or it can be difficult. What the Tachyon tool does is sort of creates a direct connection with that to experience it. And once you have experienced it, you don't need to look anymore. You realize that what we are looking for is already here waiting. You just have to remove the fog and start seeing what is behind. So this is something I want to make very clear. And we say without tachyons or with tachyons. What tachyon helps, accelerates the possibility, makes is a fantastic. One of the main qualities of this tool is that it's a protector. It protects us from all the EFT influences, the Wi-Fi, 5Gs, the electrical, all the emotional,
Waves,
contamination,
pollution, correct?
pollution, from all the emotional pollution that is around. So when you are protected from that, you can access more easily and more freely to the true self. So this is the great experience that we have felt, Kika and me, from the first time we started to work with this, and now we're transmitting to the people.
Let me ask you something, to the both of you. So, when you talk about using Tachyon as a tool, it's not only metaphorical; it's actually physical. You actually use like physical tools that are made of tachyons or exposed to tachyons to actually protect your vibration, your energy field, or your energy body.
That is right. There is, as I said, it was a living and physical person, David Wagner, who his story is very good. He was a engineer and a therapist and a very sensitive person. He was a young kid. He could see energy and things like this. And in the 80s, in the 1985 or something, a file cabinet fell on him, and he had a terrible back injury. He was in terrible pain. He tried all the methods to cure himself, and he couldn't. The only answer they gave him, he was going to have to be living in pain for the rest of his life. He's now in his 60s, so probably there he was in his 30s. So he went into a huge depression, and in that state of depression, of total desperation,
the dark night of the soul,
he connected with something that gave him the answer of how to tachyonize quartz, crystal quartz. So he started a process. He started with some discs that's similar to CD discs, and he put that quartz, the silice, into a method, so it becomes a tachyon aerial, only transmits and only receives tachyons. So once you are in contact with these tools, what you are is being you interact with a much bigger field of tachyons than we normally are. Tachyon is everywhere, but that tachyon we receive with all the other contamination and all the other things that exist in the planet. When we get in touch with these tools, with these discs, this necklace, or other tools they have, what you do is you are in contact. These elements only receive and only transmit tachyons. So we do work with them because they are great help. They are great help for us to clear the energy field, so you can experience the true self. Because once you are in contact with tachyon in a more in a bigger doses, we say, in a bigger quantity, you start to connecting with the origin of existence, with the origin of consciousness. You connect with your conscious self. So what you feel is, to start with, much more energy. You have more energy, physical energy. And this translates in much more clarity. Your mind starts to be more clear. Your emotions starts to balance. And once you have a clear mind, an energetic body, and level emotions, you start to be able to connect in a deeper way with our true self and with the energy of love. It's that basic.
It
And
sounds amazing. Let me play the attorney of the counterpart, the opposing counsel here. So we are gonna be connecting with our true self. Like, what happens first? It's like the question, like the chicken or the egg. So do we really need to first achieve a certain level of maturity, emotionally and mentally speaking, and then the tachyon happens, like the use of the tools with tachyons happens, or all of a sudden you can get whomever and you give them an instrument that has been tachyonized, and they automatically raise their level of consciousness?
I mean, just by the fact that someone gets interested in tachyon, or gets interested in any kind of self-development or conscious awareness, that person is at least opening himself or herself to experience something else. So obviously, when we are not here to convince anybody that doesn't want to be convinced, because it doesn't make sense. But what happens is, what we are finding ourselves is, people are connecting with tachyon somehow, or with the possibility that whatever we are searching for has to be easier than what we are doing now. There's great tools, there's great ways to achieve peace, but a lot of it is complex, or it needs a lot of time to get there. And what we're realizing, that a lot of people come to us because they've been there and they're still searching, and they feel somewhere inside that it has to be easier, has to be an easier way, it cannot be that difficult. Why is so difficult? So once a person is open to that, obviously, if he gets in contact with tachyon, or with the possibility we're opening, Kike and me. I mean, Enrique does conferences where he doesn't talk about tachyon. He talks about the same thing I'm talking about. Everything is happening already. Everything is inside. We have heard it millions of times, and the time is now. Once you open to that possibility, even through internet, and you experience yourself, and you breathe in, and you start thinking, hey, maybe I'm there already, things start to happen. If you then get in touch with tachyons as a support tool that protects you and makes a much clearer pathway to get there, then that experience, it becomes stronger and more convincing to oneself. But to your question, is that you don't need to have hundreds or thousands of millions or a lot of courses. I have done a lot of self-healing work. Tachyon connects you directly to the source, and you don't need to clear anything. You don't need to do anything. You just need to allow yourself to feel that, and once you feel that, you realize we are true love, and from there everything clears. So now we're realizing this. It's not I need to clear and take and balance my emotions and quiet my mind, and once I do that, in 5 years' time, I can access to that. No, you can access to that, and then all the rest is going to disappear. It's fast. It's very fast.
So, okay, we all agree in the fact that we are in that voracious search for that something else. And we keep looking outside. Outside. No one ever looks within. Well, when I say no one, I mean many people. We kind of feel that we're already started looking within, right? So if you get one of those people that are in the search outside, in the search for great amounts of monies and fortunes and houses and bigger mansions and more modern cars and cell phones, that person that is still feeling that the true satisfaction is gained by what you acquire and not about what you are, and you mysteriously put, let's say, a quartz disc under the pillow or on their desk, like, hey, this is a present for you, and it happens to be quartz, Do you think that it will happen that that person will probably start raising their level of vibration and start that search that they haven't yet initiated?
No question about it. The only thing is that I have to tell you that true love is absolutely respectful. Is the base of its existence is respect. True love is respect.
For other people processes.
That's right. I mean, we have experiences where we have people have put stargates. It's a pyramid of quartz that has a big antenna, a big aerial of tachyons, and it's been put in businesses, and things start to happen. Things start to move. People start to talk more clearly. People start to raise the vibration. People start maybe to argue more or to start saying what they think. And that happens, no question about it. But there is always the free will to decide, hey, wait a second. I feel weird. I don't want this in my life. I want to continue as it is and continue there. But if you start getting in contact with Tachyon and with people who has a high vibration, at least you're going to start questioning what you really feel that is your true purpose in life. It really is. If what you think it brings you satisfaction, is it really bringing you satisfaction? Or what is the bill you pay after? So it starts to open your eyes. But love, let's call Tachyon, let's call consciousness, is very respectful. So it's not going to force anybody to change if it doesn't want to change. So at the end of the day, Tachyon is a tool that supports and helps, but it's not going to force you to change if you don't want to change. That's why when Kike and me, we do a course, we don't. If someone comes and it happens, people start asking us to, or start putting this sort of convince me, no? Yeah, you say that, but it's proven that this doesn't exist, and that we just say, okay, if we only ask you one thing: feel, just go to your heart. People who are in the material search, they're in their heads. People who are in the spiritual search, they're in their hearts. If you are in your heart, you start to look for balance in your life. I like material things. I like to live well. I like to travel. I like to get to know places. I like to go to good restaurants. I like to drive a nice car. And that doesn't take from the fact that at the same time I can experience love in the true meaning and be very generous to what life gives me. So both, now that is what Kike and me were working here, we're not choosing one or the other. We're integrating everything. Everything is possible.
Absolutely.
You can be a true spiritual person and live in true abundance and do something very positive with that for yourself and for others.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more, and that idea of the materials not being worth of spiritual people, that's not longer we don't want to hear that anymore. So I want to focus a little bit about the fact that you say that, okay, we raise our level of vibration, we are in the search, and then it happens that all of a sudden we meet someone we never met ourselves. Who's that guy? Who's that woman? I've never seen her. Who is that true self?
The true self.
That question is for Enrique. Enrique, tell me,
¿Quién es
who's
ese ser verdadero?
What happens before the counter initiation? Who were we?
Ese ser verdadero es el que estaba antes de que nosotros naciéramos y va a estar después de que muramos.
That true self is that one who was before we were born and is going to be after we die. Is us without all the package that we have created once we came into this world.
What happens when we allow that true self to take the wheel for a little bit? We say like, okay, you take the wheel, you can drive for a little bit. What, in your experience, what happens with your life when you start allowing your true self to manifest in your life?
¿Qué pasa cuando tú permites que tu ser verdadero tome el timón de la vida.
En un principio es lo más parecido a estar súper enamorado.
At first, is very similar to be in love, to experience the sensation of being in love.
En segundo lugar, ya no te notas separado del resto del mundo. Te notas muy unido.
The second thing that happens is that you don't feel separated from the world. You don't feel that you are isolated or you are something,
aislado, sí.
That you are separated from others. You start feeling more in touch with the world and with other people.
Es el enamorado que se enamora de todo.
Is the person who's in love, who once you are in love, everything looks beautiful. Everything looks wonderful. People, you look the bright side of people rather than the dark side of people.
Y encuentras lo que necesitas, no lo que deseas.
And from there you start looking for what you need, not what you want.
You know what? You just actually gave me the answer to my next question, because my next question was gonna be what happens with the rush, with the ferocious search that we're out to. But then when you say that you are given what you need and not what you're looking for, it gives me the answer, and that it's probably because that ferocious search is for, feeding ourselves with things that are not actually feeding our soul. So we're always hungry. What do you think?
That's right. I mean, what you want, it comes from your head, from your mind, from your character, for the person you think you are. When you start looking for what you need, it comes more from that true self. It comes from the heart. So therefore, there is not a ferocious search. With that comes patience, comes an awareness that wherever you need is going to come at its own time. We say here, you don't push the river. You let the river flow naturally. And you just allow yourself to go with it. And this changes everything. Because then time, it becomes not something you're racing against, it's something you're working with. And this changes everything.
I'm very into the idea of, or balancing between that rush that makes us want more, which I understand that at a certain point is survival, is, life pushing you towards a better state, if we may say, but the peaceful calm of not being hurry. What happens when you incorporate patience into your life? When as we were saying before, you're fed, your belly is full, you're giving your true self what he or she wants, and I think there's no gender, right, in our true self. I wanted to ask Enrique a little bit about patience. How do we achieve that state of patience in which we flow? We are not inactive beings just laid on a couch. We are actually still engaged in life, but from patience and from connection to the self.
Como he hablado de la paciencia, entonces, ¿cómo se consigue esa paciencia para poder?
Es mucho más fácil de lo que la gente puede pensar.
It's much easier of what people can think.
Hay una parte en el interior de nosotros.
There is a part of ourselves
que siempre está en paz.
That is always in peace. There is a part inside of us that is always in peace.
Es un asunto de conectarse con eso.
The trick is is to connect with that. Connect with the part of ourselves who is already at peace.
Porque ya está ahí.
Because it's already there. So once you are able to connect with that, you realize that what you are searching for is already there. Therefore, is no point in rushing to find it. And then patience, it becomes a natural state.
No es un asunto de callar la mente, sino de poner la atención en donde ya está en paz.
Here there is not the game is not about quieting the mind, but connecting with a part of ourselves that is already quiet and is already at peace. And then and that is already that's waiting there. And this is what Enrique and me we do in our courses: is give the experience to the people. We have people who have never meditated in their lives. They come to one of our workshops, and through the work we do, that is with the support of Takyons and with inductions, just with inductions, I mean just going into deep states of relaxation, where people who have never meditated in their lives connect with something, with a quiet mind and a peaceful state in a very, very fast, rapid experience. Because once you open the door and you allow yourself to accept that that is a possibility, that is waiting there for you, and once you connect with that, the mind quiets, the peace starts arousing your whole body, and you start feeling what we're looking for is already within us. And it's that simple. We just have to allow ourselves to this possibility, and it happens. Then, obviously, you will, once you have experienced this, if you start connecting with that every day, you will be more in touch with it. And of course, our mind will start still. It will be bombarding us with hundreds of ideas and of possibilities, and our body will still going very fast everywhere. But at the end of the day, Kike and me, what we have find out, the way in is through the body, through the breathing. Basic, all the master has said it, but it's through the breathing and through feeling our body, connecting with the body, feeling the body. If you stop every day for 5 minutes and you feel your body, you feel your legs touching the floor, your bottom touching the chair, your back feeling, and you breathe a bit, you will start experiencing, without tachyons and without anything, something different of what you experience normally. It's that simple. If you go deeper in that, you will touch what you're looking for in no time.
Thank you. That was a very good answer. Let me ask you something. We're about to complete our conversation today, but there is something I wouldn't want to leave without asking. So we are this better being, right? We agree that we are more than this body, than this mind, and that this life. Why are we so unaware of who we really are? Is there a purpose for not knowing for so long, and for all the struggle that we go through in life without knowing our power, our ability, our potential?
Kike is going to give a bit of the answer, because I think we're going to finish it soon, and I sort of finish it. Que ¿por qué cuesta tanto? ¿Por qué estamos metidos en el personaje y cuesta tanto ver esta realidad?
La palabra es identificación. Nos identificamos, creemos...
¿Pero por qué? ¿Por qué? ¿Por qué?
Hay un propósito.
Sí, porque digamos es todo cuestión de educación. Nos educan para identificarnos con esa voz interna que no es la nuestra.
It's all about education. It's all about, we're part of a system that is created to bring this material world as the far front of our existence. And it's about education, is what Kike says. It's about education. They have educators to only believe in what we see. So this is what has happened for many, many years.
So I'm sorry to interrupt you, we are educated to believe that the outside world is all there is. Or in a way, we are educated to believe that the world is only what we can perceive through these outputs, right? Eyes, ear, touch. So my question is there a purpose for this existence? According to your beliefs, of course, this is not going to be a definite question, and it's not the universal truth. ¿Hay algún propósito para que existe un propósito en esta existencia, que estemos tan desconectados de lo que somos?
Sí, precisamente eso, el llegar a no conocernos en absoluto.
I mean, what Kike says is all created so we cannot realize our true self. Why? Who is behind? Who has the interest for us as humanity not to not to start living our full potential. We do have, but I don't know how. If it's worth getting into it. It could be the visible power, could be the power behind that power, could be even someone who's behind there, who probably feed from all this.
Because the reason I ask is because I'm an optimistic. You know, it is very hard for me to identify with a person that came to this planet to suffer. So the way I believe this is that it's like if you go to a theme park, if you go to a haunted house, for example, you don't want to see the strings on the monster and see that it's just a puppet. You want to believe it's real. So the way I feel, and I hope it's like that, of course, nobody knows and we won't know until we're gone, is that it's an experience for us to actually enjoy it. It's like a haunted house in a way.
It's like a game, no? You are part of a game, and the game, it brings us obstacles, so we can go save those obstacles, so we can at the end realize who we true self are. It's a good optimistic way to see it. I like it, so I'm going to take it as mine too, because it's a better way to think of all these dark forces behind that is a bit obscure, no, and it sort of puts you a bit down, no. And I think this is part of the game. It's part of a game, and what it seems like is the game is becoming to an end. It's now giving us true tools to be able to realize who we are.
Because in a way,
we're getting close to the end of the game.
In a way, what I think is that probably what we see as the enemy is not but the person that is, or that is allowing us to experience this. So the way I feel it is that there is no foreign enemy. This is something we agreed on.
I do believe myself.
Is that too radical?
No. I do believe myself that we all, in a way, sign a contract with how was the word, with retos, with
challenges.
With challenges that we have to overcome to really become who we really are, and the forces behind prepare, and like in a movie, like in a stage, all give us all the facilities to give us those challenges, so we can fulfill those challenges and then become who we really are. And so in a way, I do true as well. I believe that.
And it, to put it in a way also, it's knowing from the beginning would be like, okay, you go to the movie theater, here's your ticket, and Maria dies at the end. You're like, but why? Why are you telling me the end from the beginning? That's kind of how I see it, but I want to know what Enrique's input on it is.
I'm just going to say something that Kiki and me, we said, now you talk about film, and it's this, no? What happens when you start getting into seeing the world from your true self is, instead of watching the film, you watch the making of the film. And that changes everything, because then when you see your life, you don't see your character having a terrible experience. You see a camera filming a character that is having an experience. And this changes everything. We call it from the film to the making of. Because when you see it's a making of, then you can disattach yourself from what's happening. And now let's ask the question to Quique. She's going, ¿por qué el mundo lo hace tan complicado para que nosotros? Un poco quiero indagar un poco más en eso.
Yo creo que la finalidad de esto es llegar a tener una conciencia totalmente individual.
He's supporting your view that the end of the game is for us to really achieve individual consciousness.
Y ahora mismo, con esa conciencia individual, con esa alma individual, podemos entrar en el alma del mundo, en el ánima mundo.
And now we need to be individuals truly fulfilling our purpose and our true experience, and then integrate into the global world. So now it's a different game. Now, before we were trying to be part of, we are all one. Now we are not one. We are individuals that we are part of something that is unique, but we're individuals. And I think this is the game is changing. In the 80s, 90s, even in before, we were all part of something and we were part of one. No, now we're individuals with a true purpose, individual purpose, and that once we achieve that, we'll be able to enter this global matter, this global, and then something big will happen from there. So this is what we're sharing at the moment.
And I'm very happy that we get to share that through these cameras. Thank you. We are ready to wrap this up. We're ready to finish, but before leaving, we want to ask you to tell us how can our audience find you.
We have a website that is called www.Tachyon, Takyon spirit.com. It's in Spanish, but there as well with the Google Translator. We have videos. We have this a YouTube channel coming up where we're going to be talking mainly in Spanish, but there you can have some information for what we are trying to share with the world.
And of course, you can always do subtitles on your Spanish classes. Why not, right?
That's right.
Any last thoughts, last words, something from your heart that you would like to share with our English-speaking audience?
Algo del corazón que quieras compartir.
Que estamos viviendo un momento decisivo para la humanidad y que tan solo hay que decir sí quiero.
That we are living a very decisive moment for humanity, and they're only asking us for one thing: say, yes, I want. So this is what he's saying, and what I'm saying is, open yourselves to the true possibility that what you are looking for, you already have it, and it's inside.
Beautiful, thank you. Like when you're looking for your phone and you have it here, right?
In your ear, exactly. Yes. Where is it? Or the keys, and you have it in your pocket. Exactly. It's exactly the same. And then when you realize that, it's a lot of weight comes out of your system, I tell you.
Well, thank you again. Thank you for allowing the Mindalia TV cameras for being a channel for your ideas. And to our audience, of course, thank you for being with us today and almost every day. Do you want to say something more?
You, Mirna, because you were the one who listened to some of the things we were saying, Enrique saying, and you make this possible. So thank you very much to yourself for being such a intuitive person and such a lively being, looking for things and wanted the answer. So thank you very much for having us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Once again, thank you, and to our audience, thank you for being here. Remember liking, subscribing not only this channel but our Spanish channel Mindalia Televisión and our Portuguese channel Mindalia Televisão. This wouldn't be possible without you. We are sending you a very big hug, and until next time, bye bye.